video, I'm going to talk about why I think it's a good idea to put all of your agreements in writing. So over the last year or so, I've had a lot of my back catalog licensed for the first time. I've had songs that I've written as many as 10, 12, in some cases 14 years ago that are being licensed for the very first time. I'm not sure exactly why this is happening, but for whatever reason, a lot of my older tracks are just starting to get licensed. So one of these tracks was an instrumental track that I recorded. This particular track was probably at least 12 years ago, maybe as many as 14 years ago. I don't remember exactly when this track was recorded, but it was 12 or 14 years ago. It was a long time ago. So I was going through my most recent ASCAP statement, and I noticed that this particular track, this instrumental track, it's a song called Up to You, had been used something like 97 times on Fox Sports, had been used almost 100 times. So in a moment of pride and excitement, I made a post on Facebook. And I just said, hey, check it out, guys. This track that I recorded back in the day, it's been used almost 100 times. I listed several of the different shows that it's been featured on, and didn't think anything of the post. A couple minutes later, one of my friends, a producer, musician friend that I haven't seen in over a decade, left a comment. And it was like, I remember that track really well when I recorded the guitar and the bass, and I edited the drums and mixed and mastered the track and so on. To be honest, I don't remember this particular recording session. I don't remember working on this track with this particular person. I thought that I'd worked on this track with someone else. Like I said, it had been a long time. But in any event, I didn't think much of the comment. I liked it and just said, good job, good job. I'm glad we're finally getting some action on this track. So a couple minutes later, he responded to my response and said, yeah, it would have been really nice had you honored the agreement that we had on this track. So I was taken aback by this because I honestly didn't remember the agreement. It's been a long time, like I said, at least 12 years, 12 to 14 years. So I wrote him privately and just said, hey, I'm not sure why you're calling me out on this publicly, but help me out, refresh my memory. What was the agreement? It's been a really long time. I don't remember this particular track. I don't particularly even remember recording it. I think this track, if I recall correctly, I started in a different studio, and then I think what happened is I took it to this person and he finished it. In any event, I don't really remember, but my friend, for some reason, was convinced that I did remember, and then I was just trying to renege on our agreement. To make a long story short, we went back and forth for like an hour, and I left him messages. To make a really long story short, he basically said, keep the money and the bad karma. And this whole situation, and by the way, I was like, give me your PayPal, I'll go back through the cue sheets. I don't remember this particular agreement. I know we had agreements on other tracks, but whatever the agreement was, you tell me and I'll go back and I'll send you the money. By the way, this particular track, I didn't make, at the most, I probably made $200 from this track. This was part of a blanket licensing deal, which, by the way, I know I'm doing a lot of by the ways in this video. There's a lot of little tangents. I'll do another video on blanket licensing deals, but the bottom line is that they kind of suck. So this is a track I only made like $200 on over the course of a couple of years. Wasn't a lot of money, but I did my best to convince my friend to let me send him this money that I allegedly owed him. So this whole situation, it left a really bad taste in my mouth. Basically, my friend said, keep the money and the bad karma. He unfriended me on Facebook, and that was that. That was it. And I felt really bad about this situation because this was someone that at one point at least I was pretty good friends with, but for whatever reason was or is convinced that I'm just trying to renege on this agreement. But this whole situation has got me thinking that we could have easily avoided this falling out if we had just put this agreement that we had or supposedly had in writing. He didn't have anything to refer to. I didn't have anything to refer to. All we had was our respective memories. And it's like I told my friend, like, to be honest, I have a hard time sometimes remembering things I said 2 or 3 weeks ago, let alone 12, 13, 14 years ago. This business, and one of the reasons I've always done sort of handshake deals in this business. I've never had an experience like this, but I've always done them because it always, I never imagined, like in this particular track, in this particular instance, I never imagined recording a track and then not having anything happen for 12 years. So the longer I work in this business, the more I realize that this is a long-term, highly unpredictable business. You know, since that recording session, since I wrote and recorded this song back in 2004, 2005, whatever it was, I've lived in multiple different locations. I've traveled internationally. I've had probably 8 different computers. I've had hard drive crashes. It's been a long time. But the bottom line is I look at this as sort of a cautionary tale for you guys going forward. When you're doing agreements and you're entering into contracts, put everything into writing, because this whole situation, like I said, it could have been easily avoided if he had something to refer to or I had something to refer to. Neither of us had anything to refer to but our memory, which is why there was no way. I mean, I tried to resolve the situation. I tried to just give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that whatever, I just assumed his memory is better than mine. I didn't remember the particular agreement, but I do remember different songs that we worked on. I thought it was 25%. He said it was 50%. The bottom line is, when you're doing these oral agreements, you don't know in this industry when things are going to be licensed. So, whoops, camera fell. Bottom line is, put things in writing. You can avoid all of this by simply documenting everything, put it down in writing, and you can avoid this kind of unfortunate situation.